The following program, offered by Fox 19, includes lawyers licensed in Kentucky. For those lawyers to maintain compliance with the Kentucky Bar Association requirements, the phrase, "This is an advertisement," must appear on the screen. Moore Law is underwritten in the public interest by the Moore Law Firm, a legal professional association. This is Moore Law on Fox 19.
Welcome to Moore Law. Today our topic is personal injury. If you've been injured, you need to know what your rights are under the law. Has the insurance company offered you a settlement? If so, should you accept it? Is there a time limit for filing a claim? The phone lines are open. If you've been injured and you don't know what to do, give us a call, 513-421-4691. We have some calls coming in already, but let's take a look at what we have coming up over the next couple of weeks. August 20th, Can My Boss Do That? August 27th, Careers in the Law, and on September 3rd, we'll be talking about DUI. Monday morning at 9:30, so it must be you and me, Don Moore. How are you today?
It's got to be us, right?
Absolutely. How was you had a busy weekend? Your daughter-in-law's birthday?
Yeah, Monica had her 30th, and that was a lot of fun. Big family time. Ran into some fans. Helen and Ken Hanauer, want to say hello to them. They watch every single Monday.
We appreciate them.
Out in Bridgetown.
Nice. All right.
So, and you?
Just busy, you know, Kings Island with the kids. I'm trying to get everything off my summer bucket list. There's just a few things we haven't done. We did some canoeing and
you pushed the canoe as much as you got to ride
I did.
in
You know, it hasn't rained very much, so my glorious idea that we'd all be sailing down to Little Miami, I did a lot of pushing on Little Miami.
That happens. Hey, today we don't have to push a bit. We've got somebody that'll help us a lot. We've got Angela Greene from Florence, Kentucky.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
We're glad you decided to help us out. Angela has been practicing personal injury work for more than 20 years. She does both sides. She does plaintiffs and defense, represents insurance companies and defendants, and represents people who've been injured, so she really knows it well.
Well, I think I do.
I guess
done
we'll
it for
find out
20 years.
together.
Exactly. I don't know. The callers may be very challenging because I know our public and the viewing audience is very informed because we are such a litigious society. It actually prompts us to be better lawyers as well, having to respond to all of these difficult and complex issues that come down the path for us.
Okay.
We actually met in an awful case. Do you remember that case?
I sure do.
Do you remember what it was about?
I do. I was defending, and this may be something your viewers would be interested in, if you're in an automobile accident and have insurance, typically your insurance company will hire a defense lawyer, and sometimes, hopefully, that might be me, and I will defend the tortfeasor, the wrong driver. And in this case, Dawn defended the estate of a little girl. I believe there were two of them that were deceased.
Yeah.
And it was a tragic, tragic accident. The mother was intoxicated, driving her two little girls, and flipped the vehicle, killing the young ladies. Dawn represented the state, and we battled that one for a good solid year, I believe.
Yeah, we represented the estate of the little girls, and actually they were thrown from the vehicle. It was so violent. So it was somewhat complicated, and we did the best, and that's how we first got to know each other.
Well, I'm glad we're meeting under better circumstances today.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's get to the calls now. I think we have Vernon in Fairfield. Vernon, you had a question about a hair loss product and a problem you had?
Yes, I used the product as far as dyeing my beard, and it took portions of my beard out. It caused it to swell. I was in a lot of pain. Parts of my beard wouldn't grow back. And I was trying to find out if there was any, well, I actually had to go to emergency twice because of the pain from it. And I was just trying to find out if there was any compensation, you know, associated with that where I could probably get, you know, something from the company.
Sure. Is there something you would suggest he do?
Well, yes. First of all, I do think he may have a cause of action, and perchance against two either entities or individuals. And I would suggest that you talk to a lawyer, but let me give you a couple of short points. One, you're looking at negligence against the hairdresser or hairstylist or whomever barber that you chose as possible being negligent in the application of the product that was put on your beard or on your hair. Now that's a cause of action against the stylist or the barber. Secondarily, you may have a product's liability claim against the manufacturer that made it. If for some reason there was a manufacturing defect in the solution that came in, and or that the directions that were provided with the product were not sufficient to advise you or the stylist as to how to apply them. So it's really something that may, at first face, be a simple case, but could be very complicated.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Product liability cases can really be tough. And in fact, in a case like he just described, if it turns out that he has a particular sensitivity, like an allergy or something like that, it may be that there's nothing at all wrong with the product and they don't owe you anything. However, you've got to find that out, and one of the best things you can do is look online and see if there are other claims about the same kind of product. You get into what they call mass tort cases, where maybe they produced a product like this that has injured thousands and thousands of people. So it's worth checking into. First stop would be the internet, just to see if other people are having the same problem.
Okay. All right, Vernon, we hope we helped out with that. And next, let's go to Johnny in Cincinnati. Johnny?
Yeah, hello, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good, good, good.
Tell us a little bit about your call.
Okay, I'd like to ask the attorneys. I was I was hit from behind last year in October. A guy rear-ended me. Mm-hmm. And what is happening now, his insurance company wants me to hurry up and settle. They claim they sent me a release form, and I told them, no, I'm still feeling pain in my back, and I found a couple other things that happened, and I would like to get it checked out again. I did go to the hospital, but they didn't x-ray me or get an MRI. And
So Johnny, let me just interrupt for a second. We're a little short time-wise.
Okay.
What's your question for us? Because we're anxious to help you.
What is the time on there that I have to see a lawyer or whatever from the date I got hit? That was last October.
And was that Ohio or Kentucky?
That's Ohio, I'm sorry.
Okay, great.
Kentucky, on a personal injury claim involving an automobile accident, you have 2 years from the date of the accident or 2 years from the date of the last PIP payment. And I know we're short on a break, so I'm not going to go into PIP and what that means. We can pick it up after the break if this caller wants to hang on, but I'll leave that to Deb.
Okay. And Ohio is going to be 1 year. So, I'm sorry, 2 years. 2 years in Ohio, essentially 2 years in Kentucky, and essentially 2 years in Indiana as well.
All right. We will be right back after this break. Stay with us. Give us a call, 421-4691. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to More Law on Fox 19, your legal questions live, with local broadcaster and award-winning reporter Deb Haas and Cincinnati personal injury attorney Don Moore, recognized by Ohio super lawyers. More answers, more help, more law on Fox 19.
Welcome back. We will take you now to More Law Connection, where attorney Dan Moore is answering viewer emails. Good morning, Dan.
Thanks, Deb. Our first question this morning is from Nolan. He asked, my pharmacy gave me the wrong medication. Even though I didn't take what they gave me, can I sue them for making me worry? What Nolan has is what he's asking about is a negligence claim. Negligence claim, you have to prove 3 elements. Somebody did something wrong, what they did caused you damage, and of course you have to suffer damage. What Nolan is talking about is something that did not cause him damage. So, Nolan, if you're trying to pursue the pharmacy, drop it. The rule is no harm, no foul. You didn't take it, you didn't suffer damage. That's it. Back to you, Deb.
Dang, sorry about that, Nolan. Now we want to, we want to get back to another phone call. We have Jay in Middletown. Jay, you work in an emergency room and you were assaulted while you were at work?
Yeah, I work at a local ER as a medic, and I was assaulted by a guy on crack cocaine. And I know there's workman's comp covering some of the stuff, but the guy was charged criminally for it, but can he also be held responsible as well for some of the financial burden that I've incurred because of some of the workman's comp will pay for some of the other things?
Your thoughts for him, Angela?
Well, my initial thought is the caller is correct. Workers' comp should cover that. I'm not sure if you said whether this was Kentucky or Ohio, but I'll just speak in general terms at this moment. But there are exceptions to that workers' comp immunity, and that is sometimes for intentional or reckless or wanton activities. For instance, if the hospital knowingly and wantonly repeated drug users to be handled, if you will, or treated by only one person with nobody being the backup, and you were injured in a situation like that, you may very well fall out of the exception and such that you could sue your employer. Now, you may not want to do that. Your beef may well be with the actual person who caused you the assault. And you will always have an independent cause of action against that individual for intentional assault. That being said, don't look for any insurance to be behind that individual to pay for those claims, because insurance policies do not cover intentional acts, by and large.
Okay.
And I think you nailed it. I wanted to make sure that he recognized that basically he's got a case against the guy that hurt him, but the case isn't any good if the guy doesn't have any money. And no insurance is going to apply to him because it was an intentional act, just like Angela said a moment ago. And what that means is he didn't have any money. It's not worth chasing.
Okay. All right, let's check in now. We have Lucille on the phone. Lucille in Cincinnati. This is about, you feel that there was an unfair judgment, and you're looking, how can we help?
Hello.
Hello, Lucille. How are you?
I'm just fine. How are you?
I'm
so
doing...
happy I got through this morning.
Well, I am too.
And we're glad you did, Lucille. What you got?
I was in a fraudulent accident in Florida, and I don't feel like my insurance company handled the case right at all. And they actually paid out a very, very large sum of money that, in my opinion, did not have to be. And I was wondering, now my insurance is going to go up, probably very high, and I was wondering what my options are, if there's anything I can do to the insurance company.
Sure. Does she have any options?
Well, actually, no. Sorry, you really can't do anything. Basically, the insurance company calls the shots when it comes to defending you against a claim. If you knew that there was some fraud, you could go back and tell your insurance company, but assuming they've investigated it, they just disagree with you and they felt it was their judgment call to make the payment. Ultimately, it's their money. They have the right to make the payment and get a release for you, and that's pretty much it. Now, if it's a judgment of a court, they're going to evaluate the appellate options, and ultimately, it's their money. There's nothing you can do about it unless you know something they don't know and you want to make sure they know it. That's about it. Can you think of anything else, Angela?
Well, just a bit, but you're exactly right. There are some policies written out there that have what we refer to as consent clauses, consent to settle. And that means that the insured, and in particular, these are individuals like professionals, doctors,
yeah, that's right,
that have these policies that say, I have the say on whether this claim is settled or not, and you can't settle my claim unless I consent to it. But those are exceptional policies. The run-of-the-mill policies that you and I have, like your automobile, your homeowners, all of those types of policies, you actually have a duty to cooperate, and you recognize that the insurance company, you recognize and acknowledge that they have the final say in the matter.
That's right.
And that's the bottom line.
Well, I'm sorry we couldn't help you too much, Lucille, but I'm very glad that you got through with us today. Now we want to go back to Dan Moore with the Moore Law Connection. Another email question, Dan.
Okay, our second question this morning is, what is the difference between a Chapter 7 and a Chapter 13 bankruptcy? Well, these two types of bankruptcy differ in two main ways. How do they pay back your debtors, one, and two, the length of time it takes. In a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, that's a liquidation of your assets. That means that most of your assets are sold to satisfy the creditors. In the Chapter 13 bankruptcy, your debts are renegotiated, if you will, from a plan that is created through your income. And that kind of leads into how long each takes. A Chapter 13 bankruptcy takes 3 to 5 years because it takes longer for you to pay back a reduced amount of your debts. A Chapter 7 bankruptcy, when they sell all of your assets or most of your assets, it's typically going to take 3 to 5 months. Now, if you have a question, go to Fox19.com, Click on the More Law button at the top of the page, then fill out the Send Us Your Questions form, and then click Submit. We may even use your question on the show. Deb?
Thanks a lot, Dan. Also, we want to point out that if you go to Fox19.com and click on More Law, you can also watch all of the shows that we've done so far. We will be right back after the break, taking your questions all about injuries. 513-421-4691.